Hi there, Karen here with my buddy Whiskey Tower. Somebody yesterday, I think it was Larry Ravenheart, asked what was going on the other side of me over here in a video. And I don't know if you can see it. Let's see, it's just the headboard on my bed. it's That's all that is. Sometimes you see more of it, sometimes you don't. Soda thought it was a magic mushroom or something. It's just it's cement and it has some stones pressed into it, and then the whole headboard is iron. Like it's just really like a hard headboard on that bed. But it's art. That's all it is. So he just wondered because I always talked about whiskey, why I wasn't talking about what was on the other side of me, because it's really not that exciting. It's very cool, I like it, but it's not that exciting. I am freezing today. I'm holding my tea like it's a newborn baby that I don't want it to drop. This is oh, you guys might remember this teacup. That's do you see the pup that's on there? That's the pup that I got a picture somewhere that I walked into the kitchen one day and he had some condensation coming down from the one eye, and so it was like a Jesus moment, you know. It's like, oh, the puppy's crying. It was just like this really. I was almost ready to call in the Catholic Church to do some research. But yeah, that's my puppy mug. It's got another nice pup here on the side of it, and there's another nice pup there on the side of it. So, pretty puppy crazy. I wrote a blog today called "The Happiness Bookends." And it was started with a Helen Keller quote. And she says, "Happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose." I just want to be happy is a phrase that probably comes out of people's mouths more than we can imagine, right? Happiness often seems to be our goal. But what if happiness isn't the end goal? What if that's just not the goal? When it comes to life and everything that's in it, what if it's just not the goal? Or what if we at least, just for argument's sake, took it away as the potential end goal? I think what happiness should be is a very short-term goal if it's going to be a goal. And we should be striving for it sooner than waiting or sooner than later. We tend to wait until we find that happiness to have happiness. Like, for instance, you might be waiting for your dream house, or you might be waiting for your motorcycle, or a car, or a relationship. And then only then, if I find my soulmate, will I attain happiness. And I maintain that happiness should bookend a purpose in our life. And what I mean by that is it should be the beginning, and it should be at the end, and then it should morph into the next beginning of whatever you're doing. These periods could be seconds or moments. They could be a longer waiting period in between if we have to tackle something that's really hard and brutal. It just depends. Just have a happiness at the beginning of what we're doing, and then all of a sudden happiness comes from what we're doing. So it bookends it. And you could have so many beginnings and endings that they might just end up taking up every single second. And that's kind of cool. Let me just explain. If I can be happy with myself first, and if I can be of assistance to someone else, which may add to my happiness, that's the bookend. The happiness has the potential to eventually bleed right through the task so we can maintain it. But if I'm miserable, sad, or unhappy, I'm unable to muster up enough energy to help anyone else. And this bookend works on us too. We might have to, if we can't find the happiness to get us through whatever we're doing, we might have to find some contentment in order to fuel it. And we might have to put rest first, like just actually getting a good night's sleep might have to be the first thing we do before we can tackle anything. And we might have to put forgiveness on the beginning of the bookend so that we can help ourselves. We might have to get rid of bookends which look heavy but don't have any substance to hold up our shelf. Guilt, anger, jealousy, these things do not have they feel heavy, and they feel like a really good solid weight, and they just simply do not have the strength to hold up our bookshelf. I used a small vase that had some coins full of it, and I had put it on my bookshelf to hold up one of the bookends because I didn't have some really cool bookshelf. who buys bookshelves, bookends? I don't know. It's like something that's a gift we were given for when we get married or something. But I never set out in a day to go find some really good bookends. So I just find whatever. It's like a jar of coins. This was just a vase full of coins. And one day it came crashing down, and it was when Filthy was here. And he was horrified because all the books on the shelf came off. And that was a really, really bad time. And there were some other times with him where he got really scared too, because there was an earthquake in California and I wasn't here. And when I came back, he was horrified in a corner, and a bunch of CDs had fallen off the television. So it's just, when something comes crashing down in our life, it feels like that. When just whatever or the happiness we're trying to go for, or seeking out our purpose, or whatever it is, it comes crashing down, and then we feel like Filthy did, just kind of cowering in a corner because everything just came crashing down on us. And I think we're just looking for these things to hold up our goals, to hold up our happiness, that just simply do not have the weight, and they're just not powerful enough to do it. For me, helping others is my bookshelf. I feel it's my calling. I feel it's my purpose. And I'm happy to do it, and I feel happy when I do it. If I can disperse some advice, if I can just be a good listener, all those things, I feel it makes me feel really good. And right now, my bookshelf seems perfectly fine. When my motivation in helping others is selfish, and I'm just kind of looking out for number one and everything, like we talked about before, those bookends are really susceptible to falling down, because that kind of ill intent, it doesn't have the power to hold it up. If I'm constantly irritated or impatient or annoyed or angry or jealous in the situation, it's only a matter of time before those bookends come off the shelf and bring all my self-centered goals with it. And so it's just kind of defining what you're holding up and what's holding it up. What I believe finding happiness with ourselves can do is put us in a really good frame of mind, and we can fulfill our purpose. And I think that can only be achieved through us. Just finding that happiness or the contentment can only come from us. And again, we've talked about this, trying to find it in other people. If you found it in one other person, that's great. I suspect maybe that if you were in a happy relationship, it's because you were happy and they were happy, and then you guys came together with some kind of happiness as your own little bookshelf ends. I suspect that you didn't actually find true happiness in another person. I think they add to it. But I think if we create the happiness, we can find the purpose in it all. We can feel good at night going to sleep knowing that that shelf is sitting really stable and that everything's functioning. I think happiness and helping others goes hand in hand. I found a great purpose in helping others. But what if there isn't just this one purpose for us? And what is this purpose that we keep talking about? We have an idea of the things which serve a purpose in our life. And I think, what about the things that serve no purpose in our life? Sometimes you can really identify what has purpose when you find the things that really don't. And this is what's happening to me, because I've been cleaning my apartment like mad, anticipating that I'm going to move at some point, and I'm finding things that have no purpose. We know how to kind of push obstacles around our house or apartment, and we kind of move them from one room to another. And they still have no purpose for us, but we don't want to throw them out. I don't know if it's just like back to the days our grandparents were in the Depression, and we can't throw things away, but they still serve no purpose, and then they just kind of clutter up everything. But so how can we identify these things that actually serve a purpose? I took a bunch of items to Goodwill which served no purpose. There were some chairs I never sat on. There was a table beside my bed that was way too low for my water. I'd go to put my water, and it would just be like I was dropping down a foot. It's like, get that thing out of there. It's not even serving me a purpose. And I got rid of a lot of clothes which haven't been worn in a few years. That's kind of my rule, is I kind of look at it and go, when's the last time I wore that? And if I really can't remember, it's gotta go. So I have this rule in my household now that if it serves no purpose in me achieving a purpose, then it has to go to someone else. And hopefully it can help them with their purpose. But how can we rid our own character of the things that serve no purpose or no use, or the things that which inhibit our growth? And I think sometimes there's a cinder block that is sitting on our bookshelves and maybe sitting precariously on those bookends that's just really having a big weight. And I think one of the biggest cement blocks we can have on our shelf is ill intent. And when our hearts have poor motivation, selfish incentives, or a fake enthusiasm, it negates everything we have that's good. And I think it can cause our shelf to become unstable. And all this happiness chatter aside, everybody's trying to find happiness. What if it's possible that our individual purpose here is to be a link in the chain, to be a link in the bigger purpose? What if we thought less about our own happiness, about those goals that we got on our bookshelf that are being held up by ill intent? What if we actually thought of somebody else outside of it? What if we thought less about our own happiness on just a single scale and started slotting ourselves into something where we're needed or where we're being called? And this is, for me, this can only be achieved by simply paying attention, just watching for it. Stop looking at the mirror, stop looking at yourself, stop looking down, and just putting the eyes out for it and seeing where we're needed. If I'm needed, that's where I will be. That's kind of what I do every day now, is just wake up. Where am I needed? You know the whole thing your parents would say, see a need, fill it, Helen Keller, when she said, happiness is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose. That word fidelity, in this case meaning devotion, dedication, faithfulness to a worthy purpose. I like that she said worthy instead of greater. I always believe in finding the greater purpose of things. You'll hear me say this a lot. But I like her choice of worthy here because it means there's a reason. There's a reason behind doing it. So I signed off today saying I'm dropping off more books and CDs today. Hope they can serve a purpose for someone. Can't believe in a one-bedroom apartment how much crap I have. And I've identified it not all as crap, but I'm starting to look at it all as it doesn't serve a purpose for me anymore. The day that I took the TV out and set it by the curb, oh, so awesome. But I felt like I was guilting myself. I was always guilting myself when I was considering throwing it out because I thought it's a television set. It's a big television set. I can't throw that out. It wasn't serving me a purpose. That's the thing, is I never watched it. It was serving no purpose. And I can guarantee you the person now in the neighborhood who picked that up or got some money for it or uses it, it's serving a purpose to them because they obviously wanted it, to pick that heavy brute up off the curb. So sometimes there's things in our character too that are serving no purpose that we really just got to get rid of. We just got to get rid of them. Now, talk about bookending a quote. Here's another one by Helen Keller that I think about every time I see it. I just stop and I think about it. She says, I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. And sometimes we talk ourselves out of things. We think, oh, how can I be of any assistance to anybody? How can I be of any help? How can I have a purpose in this world? Because I can't do everything. You hear people say this about the world and wars and peace. I can't fix the world. I can't, it's too overwhelming. It's too big, so why bother? Well, she has chosen, just because she's saying, I'm only one and I can't do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do. It's pretty awesome. So I will sign off today, and I will tune in with you guys again tomorrow. And until next time, from Whiskey Sour and me, and a few extra little pops on my cup. It's keeping me warm right now. I will tune in with you guys again tomorrow, okay? Till next time, rock on.